Black and white photography. It's timeless, it's dramatic, and it tells stories in shadows and light. But what if I told you there's a new way to give life to those black and white images? Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm introducing a fresh take on editing black and white images. One that adds subtle hints of color to create depth, mood, and emotion without taking that powerful look of monochrome. This is a new approach I've been experimenting with, especially for images that feel a little too heavy or stark. This added color gives life, story, and presence. So stay with me everyone till the end of the video and I'll show you how it's done. Well, enough talking, and let's begin this new approach. I hope you like it and I hope you enjoy your editing. Hi everybody again, and we'll be using Camera Raw for this new approach of black and white editing. We'll be targeting those dark tones and crushing some blacks and some whites, and we'll be introducing just a touch of color to give you that life to your image. So the first thing we're going to start off with, everybody, is I'm going to go to the crop tool. I'm just going to press on auto here on the A, on the geometry, and it's going to straighten everything out. I'm just going to turn it just a touch more around there. This image was taken in Hungary last year, and from here I'll be going over the image process step by step, and I'll be working my way down, starting from the light, going to the FX detail, going down to the color mixer, and then we'll be doing some masking at the end, and you'll see what an amazing image you can achieve by using this method of turning your images to black and white, dark black and white, with a touch of color. Stay with me and you'll see the amazing effect you're gonna get. Just follow my steps, everybody. You can write it down on a piece of paper so you don't forget, or just review the video each time you need to go back one step. So the first step we're gonna do, we're gonna start off with the exposure panel, and like I said, we'll be going through these sliders one by one, starting from the top. So we're going to start off with the exposure, and we're going to increase it to around 0.97 or around 1 should be okay. And I'm going to do the same for the contrast, but all the way to plus 1797. I figured out these were the best results to getting these dark tone images. And the next one is the highlights to around plus 36. You don't have to be precise exactly. If you want to get the exact number, just click in this box here and you can write it down with your keypad. I'm going to go down to the shadows, and I'm going to increase it just to around plus 25 or plus 26. But here I'm going to minus the whites all the way down to minus 100. The next step is gonna be for the blacks. I'm gonna increase it to around plus 67 or 70, and you can see the image is changing slowly. Follow me with the steps and it will work for any other image you want. Next, I'm going to go down to the effects panel. I'm going to leave the texture on 0, and I'm going to increase the clarity to around plus 37 or plus 38. The dehaze, I'm going to increase it to around 52 plus. Don't worry about the clippings on the highlights and shadows. Don't forget, we'll be crushing the blacks. And now from here I'm going to go down to the detail panel, as I always do, I reduce the radius, increase the detail all the way up, and here I'm going to increase the sharpening to around 50. I'm going to move the masking slider and hold down the Alt key on my keyboard, and I'm going to raise it just where I want the sharpening to be, to around there. And now from here we're going to go down to the color mixer, and I'm going to start off with the hue, and we're going through these sliders one by one. I'm going to start off with the reds, always from the top, and I'm going to increase it to around +7 or 8. I'm going to do -12 for the oranges. Like I said, they don't have to be exactly, and I'm going to minus the yellows all the way down to 100. You can see the image is getting this weird color shape. Don't worry, just follow my steps and the result you want will soon come. Greens +7. I'm going to increase the aqua all the way to around 100, but the rest I'm going to leave them set at 0. Now we're going to go over to the saturation, and here I'm going to increase the reds to around +16, 16, 17, around that range. I'm going to do the same for the oranges, but to about +12, 13. And the rest I'm going to minus them to 100. All the way to 100. Minus, except for the magenta, I'm going to do it around -45 or 50. You can see the image is coming more into the black side now, darker tones. I'm going to head over to the luminance now, and here I'm going to reduce the reds to around -18. I'm going to increase the orange to around +7, and we'll be giving the image that slight colory look. I'm going to do the same for the yellows, around +7 or 8, and the rest I'm going to leave them on 0. And here we'll be going down to the color, and I'm going to set the temperature around 500 and something to around 550, give or take, doesn't matter. But I'm going to set the tint to around -1. The image is again turning a different color, and here I'm going to set the vibrance to around -15, and I'm going to reduce the saturation to around -22. And here we're taking away some more color. And the next thing I'm going to do, everybody, I'm going to go down to the color grading. This tool is very effective. Check out other videos on using these color grading, and you get amazing results. And I'm going to start off with the shadows. I'm going to start off with the hue shadows, and I'm going to increase it all the way around to above 200, to around there. I'm going to increase the saturation to around 12. I'm going to leave the luminance how it is, but I'm going to increase the blending to around 100 all the way up. This stays how it is, and I'm going to move over to the highlights. And here I'm going to do the same. I'm going to increase the hue to around 200 or just above 200. Around there should be okay. And I'm going to increase the saturation to about there. And the blending is set at 100. And here we have our black and white image, and all we need to do, everyone, is do some masking and giving it that final touch. And the best thing about this masking for this type of images is we'll just be using the landscape. We'll start off by using the landscape, the new masking tool. Just press on landscape. And here again, we're going to work our way down through each individual mask here. And we're going to start off with the sky. Press create. And here I'm going to reduce the sky just a touch to around there. Here we had some cloud coverage all the way down here, and we reduced the blue in the sky here. We made it darker. Next I'm going to go back down to the create new mask, and I'm going to select landscape again, and I'm going to use the architecture and press create. And here we have the mask all over the buildings, and I'm going to reduce the exposure just a touch. I'm going to head down to the texture, give it a touch of texture as well. Don't forget, guys, this depends on each different image. Not all these settings are the same, depending on your image. I'm going to increase just a touch of dehaze. I'm going to give it a bit more sharpening to around there. And here I'm going to go back to create mask, and I'm going to select landscape again. And I'm going to select vegetation. And I'm going to press create. It targeted these lights, these wired lights here. Don't worry about it. It's not going to affect it. And I'm going to target the vegetation. And I'm going to increase the shadows here to get some detail in these potted plants. I'm going to give it just a touch of texture. And I think I'm going to give it just a touch of saturation. You can go all the way up to see the full effect, but I always reduce it just a bit more to around there. Again, I'm going to go back to select landscape. I'm going to go over to artificial ground and select create again. And here I'm going to reduce the exposure to around there. So we're ready with the select landscape, and now I'm going to start using a linear gradient. And here I'm going to mask the foreground to around there. And I'm going to reduce the exposure. That should be okay. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use a radial gradient. I'm going to place it over these luggages here, or bags, just to give it a bit of life. I'm going to increase the exposure just till about there. Next, I'm gonna head over and create another radial gradient, and I'm gonna mask over this cobbled street here, or paved street, whatever you want to call it, and I'm going to increase it to around there, and I'm going to increase the exposure. I'm going to open it up just a bit more. It should be great. And here I'm going to give it just a bit more texture. Should be okay. And now I'll be using another radial gradient. We're soon finished. And I'm going to place it, over the center here. Around there. And I'm going to increase the exposure just a touch. To around there. I'm going to use another radial gradient. I'm going to place it in the middle again, and here I'll be creating the last mask for our image, and I'm going to invert it, and we have a vignette, and I'm going to reduce the exposure. I'm going to head out of masking. I'm going to reduce the image just a touch. And there we have our final image of dark tones with a touch of color to give you that extra life in the image. I'm going to show you the before and after, everybody. I'm going to press P on the keyboard. That's the before. The color when we had the color image, and here we created a dark toned, slightly colored image. That's the before, and that's the after. Well, I hope you enjoyed this editing tutorial, everybody. Be careful with these extra colors here. You can remove them if you want. I'm just going to leave it for the sake of the video, not to be too long. And here we have our final image, and I hope you like it. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and please leave any comments below if you have any suggestions or like to ask me something. Thank you, and I'll see you in another video.